What if I told you, the moment you stop chasing her is the moment she starts chasing you, that your silence, your stillness, your indifference has more power than every text, call, or emotional plea you could ever make. You think being heartbroken means you're weak, that you lost, that something in you wasn't enough. But no, heartbreak is a signal that something inside you needs to die, so something greater can take its place. Right now, you're probably spinning, replaying every moment, wondering what you did wrong, scrolling her socials, seeing her smile like nothing happened, and it stings. You gave your time, your effort, your loyalty, and she walked away like it didn't cost her a thing. But here's the truth no one tells you. The more you show you care, the less she feels it. The more you try to fix, explain, chase, the faster she runs. You want her to regret walking away? You want her to feel the loss? Then you stop trying. You pull back all the energy she used to feed off of. You go quiet, not out of pettiness but power. Because when you act like she doesn't matter, not out of bitterness, but from a place of true detachment, you shatter the control she thought she had. That's when she spirals. That's when the curiosity kicks in. That's when she starts checking your page, wondering where you went, who you're becoming. This isn't a game. This is Stoicism in motion. Detachment is not about pretending. It's about genuinely shifting your focus back to yourself. Real men don't beg. They rebuild. They retreat. And when they return, they're untouchable. So if you're done feeling like a slave to your emotions, if you're done bleeding for someone who wouldn't even hand you a bandage, then this is your turning point. This is where you stop chasing and start becoming. This is where the power flips. If you're done trying to prove your worth, if you're ready to master yourself, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence holds more power than my words. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The power of walking away. The moment you walk away is the moment the dynamic shifts. Not because it's a trick, not because it's manipulation, but because walking away is the highest act of self-respect. When a man chooses silence over begging, distance over desperation, stillness over chasing, that's when he becomes dangerous. See, she expected you to fold, to fight for her, to crumble at the loss. Why? Because that's what most men do. They panic, they blow up her phone, they try to talk it out. But when you do the opposite, when you go ghost, when you disappear without explanation, you force her to sit with a reality she never prepared for, your absence. And absence, that's powerful, because the human mind doesn't miss what's predictable, it misses what's rare, what's gone, what can't be accessed anymore. Your silence becomes louder than any words. She'll replay it in her head, trying to figure out what changed, why you're not reaching out, why the energy shifted. And that mental loop? It's where regret starts to form. But here's the catch. This only works if your walkaway is real. If you're still watching her stories, checking her last scene, asking mutual friends about her, you haven't walked away. You're just pretending. Real power is in the cut. No breadcrumbs. No, just checking in. You remove yourself from the table and let her feel the emptiness of your chair. Walking away isn't weakness. It's not surrender. It's the decision to stop bleeding for someone who won't even acknowledge the wound. It's stoicism in practice, refusing to attach your inner peace to someone else's chaos. When you walk away with calm, not chaos, you don't just leave, you elevate. Number 2. Emotional control is king. If you want to flip the power dynamic, control your emotions. Because the man who can stay calm while his world burns is the man no one wants to lose. Emotional control is the quiet weapon most men never learn to use, and that's why they get played. That's why they get broken. because they react instead of respond. They explode instead of observe. They beg instead of detach. She's testing you. Whether she knows it or not, every argument, every push, every silent treatment, it's a test. Not of your love, but of your stability. She wants to know, can you hold your ground when she pulls away? Can you stay solid when she goes cold? Most men fold. They chase. They over-explain. They try to fix the unfixable. And every time they do, they lose a little more respect. But when you stop reacting, when you breathe, pause, and let the storm pass without blinking, you show her something she wasn't ready for. Strength. Not just physical, not just financial, but emotional strength. The rarest kind. You become unpredictable, mysterious, powerful, because you're no longer driven by impulse. You're not giving her the satisfaction of seeing you lose control. You're not handing her your power every time things get uncomfortable. And when she can no longer control you emotionally, she starts to question herself. She starts wondering if she still affects you. And that seed of doubt grows into obsession. Because power isn't loud. Power isn't aggressive. Power is quiet, composed, and intentional. So next time she tries to provoke a reaction, don't give her one. Let her feel the full weight of your calm. Let her drown in the silence she created. Number 3. You were the prize all along. She didn't leave you because you weren't enough. She left because somewhere along the line, you forgot that you were the prize. You put her on a pedestal. You made her the sun in your sky. You bent, compromised, overextended, until the man she was once drawn to disappeared. Let's get one thing clear. A woman doesn't stay with a man just because he adores her. She stays with a man who adores himself, who respects himself enough to set boundaries, to say no, to walk away when he's not being valued. The second you made her your center, you lost your balance. And she felt it. She felt the shift from confident to needy, from grounded to reactive, and when that happened, her attraction died a slow death. But here's the twist. You didn't change because of her. You changed because you abandoned yourself to keep her. And now, you take that power back. You remember who you were before you let love cloud your judgment. You become the man who moves with purpose, not desperation. Who knows his worth with or without her validation. Because the moment she sees you living well, glowing up, unfazed, unbothered, not posting for attention, not flexing for revenge, but thriving quietly, that's when the reality hits her. She lost something valuable. Not because you tell her, but because you show her, through your evolution, through your silence, through your peace. When a man starts acting like the prize, people start treating him like one, especially the ones who took him for granted. Number 4. Her ego needs your attention. Starve it. Most guys don't realize that after a breakup, it's not your love she misses, it's your attention, your validation, your emotional energy. Not because she needs you, but because her ego craves confirmation that she still has you, that she can still pull your strings with a look, a post, a silence. This is where most men fail. They think reaching out proves maturity. They think commenting "happy birthday" or reacting to her story is harmless. But every little interaction, it feeds her ego. It tells her, he's still watching. I still matter. And the moment she knows that, you're no longer a challenge. You're background noise, predictable, powerless. But when you cut that supply, when your attention goes dark, cold, non-existent, her ego starts to starve. And that's when the tables turn. She starts second-guessing. Why hasn't he reached out? Is he over me? Has he found someone better? You see, ego hates uncertainty, and your silence becomes a void she can't fill. You must become a black hole to her ego. No reactions, no likes, no replies. You don't validate the bait. You don't play the game. Because the game ends the moment you stop participating. When you stop giving her that hit of attention, she's forced to confront the truth. She no longer has access. And in that vacuum, curiosity grows. Obsession follows. Because nothing haunts the ego like someone who no longer needs to be seen. Number 5. Indifference isn't anger, it's absence. Indifference is often misunderstood. People think it means being cold, bitter, or hateful. But real indifference? It's freedom. It's not about punishing her. It's about no longer being emotionally available to someone who didn't value you. There's no anger, no resentment, just absence. You don't react because you no longer care to. You don't explain because you owe nothing. You don't check in because you've checked out. Anger still ties you to her. Hatred still gives her space in your mind. But indifference, it erases her. It sends a louder message than any insult or confrontation ever could. When she texts and you don't reply, when she posts and you don't notice, when her name pops up and your pulse doesn't change, that's when she realizes something has shifted, something she didn't expect. Because women can handle anger, they can handle jealousy, but true indifference, that shakes them. It means the emotional cord is cut. It means her control, her pull, her presence no longer reach you. That's not just confusing to her, it's unsettling. Because now she's not just out of your life, she's out of your mind. And once a woman feels that kind of void, she questions everything. Was I not enough? Did I misjudge him? Is he really done? The silence you give her speaks volumes, not because you're trying to hurt her, but because you've reclaimed your peace. And peace is the one thing you don't negotiate with anyone, especially not someone who mistook your loyalty for weakness. Number 6. Become a ghost in her reality. Disappearing isn't about hiding. It's about becoming unforgettable. When you're always around, always visible, always available, you become routine. And routine never gets respected. But when you vanish, when your energy suddenly goes dark, you become something she can't quite define anymore. A mystery. A presence that used to be constant, now gone without warning. This is psychological warfare, and it works not because you're playing games, but because you're forcing distance, and in that distance, you become larger than life. Her mind starts to create stories. Is he with someone? Did he move on? Is he over me? She starts to imagine, and imagination always hits harder than reality. Stop orbiting her world. No likes, no views, no subtle status updates meant to trigger a response. That's not real detachment. It's bait, and she'll see through it. Instead, go full ghost. Let her wonder if she ever really knew you. Let her feel the absence in every corner of her routine where you used to exist. Your silence becomes a mirror, and in that mirror, she sees herself clearly, her decisions, her actions, the weight of her choice, and that clarity, it only shows up when your presence is completely removed. You're not punishing her. You're not seeking revenge. You're simply refusing to be part of a reality where you're treated like an option. The man who disappears without noise, without drama, is the one who stays in her head the longest. Because she expected a storm. Instead, she got nothing, and nothing leaves a louder echo than anything you could ever say. Number 7. Level up in silence. While she's watching for signs of weakness, you go to war in the shadows. No announcements, no validation posts, no look at me now energy. You rebuild in silence, you evolve privately. Because real transformation isn't broadcast, it's revealed when it's already done. Most men waste the post-breakup phase trying to prove something. They post gym pics, flashy stories, fake smiles, but the ones who really rise, they go dark. They put their heads down and do the work. Physical, mental, spiritual, no distractions, no theatrics, just pure focus, And then one day, out of nowhere, you re-emerge, not seeking attention, not chasing her gaze, but simply existing at a higher level. You walk different. You speak with certainty. You don't reach back because there's nothing left back there for you. And here's what happens. While you've been building, she's been waiting to see signs of struggle, waiting to confirm she broke you. But when she sees strength instead of sadness, purpose instead of panic, she realizes she didn't break you. She built you. That version of you she walked away from, he's gone, replaced by someone colder, stronger, sharper. And the wildest part? You didn't do it to win her back. You did it because you remembered who the hell you are. You did it for you. And that's what makes it untouchable. You weren't performing. You were leveling up, for real. Number 8. Don't respond. Replace. You don't need closure. You don't need a final conversation, a text to explain your growth, or a second chance to prove your worth. What you need is replacement. Not to spite her, but to upgrade your reality. Every time you're tempted to respond, to explain, to justify, you're handing her power. And the man who seeks validation from the past delays his future. You don't respond to someone who dismissed you. You replace them with discipline, with new energy, with a life that doesn't revolve around what's already done, because responding keeps the wound open. Replacing. That's healing. Not through distraction, but evolution. She expects you to linger, to stay stuck in orbit around her memory, and every time you react, it confirms her expectation. But when you disappear and rebuild your circle, when you elevate your standards, your space, your peace, you remove the role she used to play. You replace her by becoming whole without her. It's not about finding someone new just to fill the gap. It's about creating a version of you that wouldn't even be attracted to her anymore. A man who sees clearly, who's not available for the same chaos twice, who doesn't seek revenge, but replacement with purpose. That's the move. You don't go back. You don't explain. You outgrow. When she realizes there's no message coming, no closure, no last chance, you'll already be gone. Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. And that, more than anything, is what makes her spiral, because you weren't just silent, you were gone and replaced. Number 9. Kill the fantasy she had of you. She didn't fall out of love with you. She fell out of love with the version of you she built in her head. The one who was always available, always forgiving, always trying harder than she ever did. That version. He was easy to control, easy to predict. And when he finally stopped being a challenge, she got bored. Now's the time to kill that fantasy, for good. You don't go back to being the man who overextended, over-explained, and overcommitted. That version of you doesn't get resurrected. He gets buried, because the man you're becoming doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't even entertain disrespect. Let her remember you how she last saw you, then let reality hit her when she realizes you've become unreachable. Not because you're playing games, but because you've outgrown the role she assigned you. The soft spot she used to poke, gone. The insecurities she used to exploit, healed. The buttons she used to press, removed. That's how you break her illusion. Not by proving you're still the same guy deep down, but by becoming someone so far removed from that identity, she no longer recognizes you. And that unfamiliarity, that's what stings. Because she thought she knew how to read you. She thought she could always come back. But now, she wouldn't even know where to begin. Because the version of you she left behind, he doesn't live here anymore. And the man that stands in his place? He's not interested in being a memory. He's too focused on becoming a legend. Number 10. You win when you no longer care. The final shift, The one that truly flips the script is when you stop caring, not pretending, not suppressing, but genuinely not giving a damn. Not about what she thinks, not about what she's doing, not about if she ever regrets it. Because once you hit that level of detachment, you win. Every time. Caring keeps the wound open. Indifference heals it. Not because you've numbed yourself, but because you've redirected your energy into something far more valuable. Your peace, your vision, your future. That's when you become untouchable. Not because you're trying to appear